What's up guys, welcome back to another one of my videos. Now this is a 2023 Honda Civic SI, and thanks to Norm Reeves Honda Superstore in Port Charlotte, Florida, I'm going to take in the complete tour of this vehicle. We're going to check it out from the exterior, interior, jump inside, take it for a test drive, the whole 9 yards. But before we do that, if this is the first time we meet, my name is Matt. Here on Matt the Carguy, I post 2 car reviews every single week. If that's something that's up your alley, go ahead and check out the rest of my channel. Consider subscribing, and if you watched this video and liked it, don't forget to give me a like. The new generation Civic was just introduced last year, so there's no changes as far as the technical specs or the look of this vehicle, but I didn't have a chance to have it on my channel just because they get sold as soon as they hit the dealerships. So I'm super excited that I get my hands on this one today. So we're going to check this out. First of all, the SI this year is only offered as a sedan, and it's only offered with a 6-speed manual transmission, which a lot of people find very attractive. When we look at the front of this vehicle, you do have this rather large hood with 2 very distinct body lines on the side, and then you have this longer nose over here like you've seen on the old and new generation Civics. Now this is all blacked out, matte black, big Honda logo, and SI, which by the way stands for Sport Injected Vehicles, and Honda's been making those since 1989, so they know a thing or two about making the vehicles sportier. Now as far as the lights, you do have the LED lights with the LED daytime running lights, and if you scroll down over here, you do notice that we have the fog lights as well. Now this grille is open, as well as this portion right here, and then you have this little splitter right at the bottom of it to help keep this vehicle grounded on the road. But what's the most exciting thing about this vehicle is what's underneath the hood, so let's check this out. What we have underneath the hood is a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine producing 200 horsepower, 192 pound-feet of torque, and all that power is sent to the front wheels via limited slip differentials and a 6-speed manual transmission, which is standard and the only option available. Now what I'd like to see, and you guessed it, prop stick, well, I'd like to see some hood struts on it. Other than that, pretty nice engine setup. One thing to mention, that this vehicle is so much bigger, but it's also so much more powerful than the first generation SI introduced in '89. That vehicle had only 106 horsepower versus 200 on this one, but this one is also over a foot longer than the first generation SI, probably even more than that. But take a look at this. Now on the side, doesn't really differ much from the regular sedan, and I wish they kind of made it more special, a little bit more aggressive on the side. Not as aggressive as it was in the previous generation. That was way out of whack in my opinion. But let's check this out. I do like the wheels and tires. I do like those satin wheels. They're 18-inch rims, and then we have the Goodyear all-season tires. Now for 200 bucks extra, you can snag the summer tires, and that probably would be the option that I would get if I was buying an SI. I think it's well worth it. Now everything else is all the same color as the rest of the vehicle. There's no cladding, no nothing, anything like this. The mirrors, the door handles. By the way, the mirrors do have the blind spot assist. There's no turn signals on the mirror. You do have the smart entry system on this vehicle. And then at the bottom of it, I wish they maybe made this side skirt at the bottom a little bit more pronounced for a sporty vehicle. Well, that's the side of it. Let's move to the back. Here in the back right away, what you can notice on this vehicle is this deck-lid spoiler, and that's a lot taller than we've seen on some of the other ones. Nicely profiled for better aerodynamics. Now you do have the combination lights. These are LED, and the turn signals and the reverse lights are incandescent. Civic on one side, SI on the other. You do have the rear view camera right underneath here. Nothing too crazy about a bumper. Again, I would wish it was a little bit more profiled as far as the sportiness of it, but you do have a dual exhaust. You'll only find that on the SI and the Type R. Now, let's check out if we have in the room inside of this trunk. Honda's been really good about the roominess in their vehicles, and this trunk is huge for the class of this vehicle. Somebody measured it and said that it can fit 6 carry-on suitcases. Now, right underneath this floor, we don't have a spare tire. We do have a fix-a-flat. I was kind of hoping for a spare tire, but I'm sure you can order one. If you remove that styrofoam, there's room that you can fit one in. The seats fold down 60-40 split, and you do have the handles to do that with, so you don't have to get inside of the car, which is really convenient. And then of course you do have a lockout latch, like in case you get locked up inside the vehicle, you can actually open it up from the inside. The length of the vehicle, definitely you can feel that on the inside. Now I have this seat in the front adjusted to my regular driving position. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm not touching the seat, not even close, probably about 2 inches before my knees would hit the back of the seat. I do have another 2 inches above my head, and really comfortable as far as the width of this vehicle. Now the interior is pretty interesting. Let's check this out. Starting with the rear door panel, so you have the usual suspect, the door handle, the window control, a couple of different textures on it, nothing too crazy at all. In black on this vehicle, I wish they kind of broke it up and put some different color trims, but you'll have a little bit of this orange stitching on the seats, or red stitching I should say. So you have that. The seats are fabric, so they're not leather seats, but they're fairly comfortable. You do have this pull down armrest with cup holders in the middle, 3 seat belts. You do have this quite large bump in the back. No vents in the back of this vehicle, but it is a compact sedan, so most of them won't have it. And you do have a seat back pocket only on the passenger side seat. But all that roominess is very impressive for a compact vehicle. And of course, we can't forget to check out how this door sounds when it closes. Boom. Nice, solid, no surprise there. So let's check out the interior of it. And right away you can see there is difference than the rear door panel and the front door panel. You have this red inserts as well as the red stitching right there. And then you have this piano black trim piece. So a lot more going on than in the back. Then of course you have the window mirror lock controls. And what's really interesting, you can't see it from here, but right there you do have the Bose stereo system on this one. So it is a fairly loaded vehicle. Now as far as the seats, let's check this out. You do have the SI embroidered inside of it, red inserts. I love the design of it. It's high bolster seats, but they're not super uncomfortable. They hold you in place with making sure that you're comfortable at the same time. The seats have manual adjustments, so no power adjustment. And of course, check this out, all 3 pedals right there, because it is a manual transmission. Can't wait to take it for a spin. But before we do that, check out the rest of this interior. Here it is, 2023 Civic SI interior. Actually, I like it. I like the design of the new Civic, period. But this one is a little bit more sportier. It does have this red accents on the seats, the inserts, but also the red accents continue here around this honeycomb grille, which, by the way, I like. And over there, you can see that it does have the Bose stereo right on the pillar over here. It's markings, 9-inch screen, 6-speed manual shifter. This is where you start this vehicle, which we're going to do right now. Sporty steering wheel, and let's get this thing started. It's getting hot in here. Boom, fully digital screen. We'll get to it in just a second. Take a quick look at the steering wheel. It is nicely leather wrapped. It does have the contrast stitching right on the inside. That feels very well to the touch, and does have a bunch of buttons on either side. So you do have the volume and media control over here, as well as you can check what's going on in the instrument cluster in front of you. Over here you do have your cruise control setting, dynamic cruise control, and the lane keep assist. Nice Honda logo right in the middle, and you'd have the bottom aluminum spoke on that steering wheel. Now, as far as the instrument cluster, you do have all digital display. And what I like Honda doing right now, finally, they started incorporating this in the vehicle. So this is a warning if somebody's not wearing a seatbelt, or when you're leaving the vehicle, it can tell you if somebody is still there. So it's very safety oriented feature. On the right hand side, you have a speedometer. As you can notice, it goes to 160. I'm not sure what the top speed is on that. And on the left hand side, you have a tachometer, and you can see that red line starting at 6,500 RPMs. We're in the normal mode. That's what it says right in the middle. 79 degrees outside. The vehicle's got 25 miles, 1030, and we're like 3/4 full. That's the information that you can see at the first glance, but you can kind of customize it. So let's hit the home screen and look at the left hand side. What's going on in this tachometer screen? So you have warnings, range, fuel, speed, time, audio, phone, turbo gauge, navigation, driver's attention, throttle and brake, G-meter, stopwatch, seat belts, maintenance, safety support, no content, customizable display, warnings, and then we're back to range and fuel. So let's go to the more sporty one, the turbo gauge right there. You can see, you know, as I rev it up, you know, this changes, this display changes, that displays the pressure in your turbo. And then let's go back, see the navigation, what else is there? Throttle and brake. Let's see this. Okay, so here is your throttle, here's your brakes, left hand side percentage, and the pressure. That's more of a sport oriented display, and everything else other than the G-meter, I'm not sure if you can find that on the regular Civic, but that's your G-meter right there. And stopwatch, back, start, stop, history, reset. Doesn't have the 0 to 60, which would be kind of cool to have. And then the regular displays on the left hand side. So this is what you have in the instrument cluster. Pretty cool. Now you do have a 9-inch screen right over there. Let me see if I can get this glare off somehow so you can see it. I've seen it on pretty much all of the new Hondas, the same infotainment system. You have the hard buttons on the left hand side, so you have the home, back, audio, seek, track on the left hand side, and then you have the all apps, phone, FM, Bluetooth audio, smartphone connection, which by the way, you do have the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay that are wireless on this vehicle. General settings, compass system updates, Honda Link, display mode, and it did say navigation, but I don't see that here, which tells me that you have to use Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. There's no navigation as a standard equipment. Kind of a bummer. I wish it would have it. But at the bottom here, you have the phone, FM, compass, connect, smart shortcuts, display mode. Again, you have this honeycomb design on the vents, and this is where you control it, which way they go. And it's a pretty nice design. Down at the bottom, you have the automatic climate control. It is a single zone climate control, so you have the same temperature for driver and passenger. And then down here, you do have the 2 USB type A ports and the 12-volt power outlet. No wireless charging, which I wish that was included in this. And then you have this pretty cool trim. Look at this trim around here. I wish they used a little bit more of it, but I do love this shifter. This shifter so reminds me on all of the Civic SIs. This is kind of like their staple of it. You do have the red gear markings over here, the pattern, and then you have the aluminum top, and then you have leather with contrast stitching, again aluminum, and then leather with contrast stitching at the bottom. This looks so good. Now, as far as the drive modes, you do have sport, individual, and normal. Those are the 3 drive modes, and this is how you control it. Turn off that start stop engine button. Then this is your parking brake, brake hold, large cup holders. Then you have a little bit more storage down here. So this is the interior of it. It looks cool. Before I take it for a spin, let's see right up on top here. Nothing too crazy about the mirror, no home link system. You also have the sunroof, which it's one push operation. It opens up. Okay, let's air and light inside of the cabin, and down here you have the lights and the illuminated mirrors. I'm curious how it drives. Now we got the vehicle running, I'm ready to go. One thing we forgot to mention is the rear view camera, which is right here. Hopefully you can see it. It's a decent quality, 3 different angles. You have the wide angle, narrow angle, and then you have the top down. Before we take it on the road, let's talk about different trim levels, and that's easy because there's only one. Civic SI for this here comes only in this configuration. So it comes as a fully loaded sedan with a 6-speed manual transmission. You know, the only option that I can find are the summer tires, which $200, which I definitely would go for it if I was buying it. It would give you a little bit better grip. You know, as far as the gas mileage, 27 in the city, 37 on the expressway, and so that is a really, really good number. 31 is the combined value, and 0 to 60 was tested about 6.7 seconds. So it is a little bit faster on paper than the Hyundai Elantra N-Line or a Kia Forte GT, which I tested and reviewed both of them. I have not done the Golf GTI, so you know, I can't compare it to this, but I haven't done any with the manual transmission. So I'm really excited to take this for a spin. It's been a while since I've driven a stick, but you know, I've learned driving on it, so hopefully I'm not gonna butcher it. Let's take it on the road and let's see how it drives. I want to make sure I put it in the sport mode, so we have that sport feel on the vehicle. Let me get warmed up before I start testing the acceleration. So shifting gears, kind of a short shift, very nice. Thanks for a sporty sedan, very precise too. It would be really hard to mess it up. Like you can hear the old stick shift would be grinding clutches and stuff like this. This is all 6 gears, nice, close to each other, pretty crisp. I like that. You know, you downshift it. You have a little bit of that rev match that Honda puts as a standard equipment on this, but if you shift through the gears like you should, you're not going to have a need to actually use that. Pretty nice pickup from rolling, reduce and go. Overall, you know, the one thing that I'm missing, it is too tame as far as the sound of it. I wish it would have a little bit more of an exciting exhaust sound. I don't know, maybe even a speaker infused or something like this. It would make it so much easier. Now it drives beautifully, there's no question about it. I do have a nice visibility, adjusted the mirrors so they work perfect, but like I said, you know, I miss that growl. We got 0, 1, 2, chirp the wheels. Here we go, 0 to 60. It actually felt good. Now, it's been a while since I've driven the stick shift, so I apologize if it sounded a little bit strange, but I'm still warming up and getting used to it. All right, here's your 360, right? Actually, turning diameter is pretty good. The vehicle feels nice. What I like about it is the way that it shifts and how much in control you are, you know, driving this vehicle. So definitely a quality right there. Reminds me of the older Civic SIs. The visibility is great. It is comfortable. It does have bolsters to keep you in place, so that's definitely a big plus. I wish it sounded a little bit better. Other than that, it's perfect. One thing that I would definitely add to it is a little bit more excitement as far as the looks of this vehicle, and I'm pretty sure people are doing that already. And if you've done some modifications, maybe you own one, let me know. I'm not sure if there's a way of posting a photo in the YouTube comment section, but definitely send it to me. If you send me a lot of them, maybe I'll make a video just out of that to showcase your cars. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you had as much fun watching this as I did filming it. And if you like watching videos like this, but you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead, check out the rest of it. Hopefully you'll find something that you like. Consider subscribing, really means the world to me. And if you haven't given me a like, go ahead. This is the thumbs up. I don't like the thumbs down button. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.